It would turn off right when we're getting to like actual pretty funny commentary.
This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to try something a little bit different. My friend V, who helped with the Legends of Dragon Noir comic dub, has never seen the animated G.I. Joe the movie, or at least she doesn't think she did. So we're going to sit here and do a commentary on it while we watch it. The kicker is we're going to be watching it from YouTube, so this commentary itself is going to be basically a blank screen. And I was hoping you might want to just like play the movie with the commentary running in the background. I may also clip some stuff just to put together an actual real video reaction thing. So once you've got your G.I. Joe the movie set up to go, I'll do a countdown here, and when I hit 0, go ahead and start. 3, 2, 1, 0. This, by the way, is one of the best openings for a cartoon movie. I've heard somebody call it like a 3-minute cinematic masterpiece.
3-minute opening.
Yeah. Oh, it's a mini movie all by itself. And the song is pretty good too. I mean, look at the animation quality. It already looks pretty cool. And this is the 80s.
That is good for the 80s.
Nice ass shot of the paratrooper.
Yes. Just look at the screen. Oh, look, crotch.
I think part of the reason for this opening, though, too, is that they wanted to get in every character that was in here previously because they're introducing a bunch of new characters.
So this is the only chance they're going to have to be in the movie, basically.
Yeah. So rather than like what Transformers did, where they had the big scene where they killed everybody off, they just decided to show everybody off in this case. Also, I'm just gonna say, man, Cobra Commander actually comes off as competent in this one too. Or Snake Eye stealing the trouble bubble. I'd like to know the physics on Alpine grabbing onto the ship like that with a grappling hook.
Probably not very good, actually. I mean, I'm impressed that the one guy was able to hold on to the in-flight attack
Yeah.
attack plane with his bare hands.
And there's Duke grabbing the explosive. Jumping off like he's swimming. I can't remember the name of the guy's last name, but the guy's first name is Chris, who did Cobra Commander and Starscream. Man, his loss is just terrible. I think he was a suicide or an overdose.
Oh.
But man, he definitely had a distinctive voice for this stuff.
Yeah. That's always sad to hear. We probably should have watched this on 4th of July, considering how very American it was.
Now we get all the like 80s actors, Don Johnson, Burgess Meredith. Most people know as probably the coach from Rocky, but also as the Penguin from the 66 Batman series.
Oh.
And Sergeant Slaughter as Sergeant Slaughter. He was never in the military, by the way.
I know.
Cobra's Terradrome, not to be mistaken for Crane's Technodrome. What is it with the bad guys that want to have like cylinder fortresses?
Ooh, I don't know. To set them apart, because most of the time you see buildings, they're like more squared.
Boring as hell.
Yeah.
Guess I should play you the episodes one day where it actually shows the creation of Serpentor there.
Yeah.
I mean, Cobra Commander actually has quite the big balls on this one. No, the thing is, like the first couple miniseries they did for G.I. Joe, Cobra Commander actually was pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
But then when they did the actual series, he kind of like slowly became worse.
Yeah, that's kind of par for the course for 80s cartoons, though, for kids.
True. And look, it's Kermit the Frog.
I mean, I'm just going to assume all of it's actually true.
You know what? I'm just gonna. I would put it there that it's not always true. Like his minions are fairly incompetent, also, like most 80s cartoons.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's not a kids' show if the villains don't turn on each other.
true. I've liked how her skin tone and her face has changed colors a couple times now that we've. You know, one of the things that kind of brought this up for me wanting to show you this was because there's a couple of figures for Kaimicon and Hasbro's PulseCon that are being put out directly related to this movie too.
Hmm.
Not her, by the way.
Oh, that's too bad. She's cool.
I honestly do feel like Cobra Commander kind of got crapped on a lot in this series.
Mm. I'm actually surprised those are real people under those masks. Normally, this type of show, they'd do like robot minions.
Oh, they have those too. Don't worry. They didn't bring the robot minions in until like I think the was it second season or third
Mm.
season when they introduced Sergeant Slaughter to the series too.
Ah.
I think that's a I think that's the first time I've noticed like the Cobra officers for the troopers have like the silver snake logo.
Mhm.
This is the first time I've actually really noticed one in the series before.
When I make my own evil fortress, I am not going to have the doors close one after the other like that. They're all going to be closing at the same speed at the same time.
That's reasonable. My question is, where did the other snake come from that replaced that one? She is kind of sexy.
Pay me all the back child support you owe.
Actually, this was the last of the Sunbow GI Joe stuff they did,
Yeah.
but another company did take over. DIC took over afterwards. I think a year later, or maybe a couple years later, and they did do a direct sequel to this movie as part of it.
Yeah.
I hate Daltone's voice. If that was made today, that would be $100 billion, and it would not work.
Probably closer to a trillion, and it still wouldn't work.
Dude, did that one thing just like uh molest her? Like it bumped her in the ass?
Did look that way.
Seriously, though, Serpentar's as incompetent as Cobra Commander was, to be honest.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion, I'm sure there's gonna be somebody who's gonna get mad at me for saying that, but
I mean, if you truly love 80s cartoons, you have to accept the schlocky bad villains. They're part of the charm.
get everybody else's cameo in before we introduce the new characters. Like the one dude in like the gray there, Firefly. Like I can only think of like maybe 2 or 3 episodes I can remember him even being in
Yeah.
prior to this.
And then afterwards, go make me a sandwich.
Cobra Commander, your place is in the kitchen. This is the whole questionable decisions thing. Like, how exactly is just an energy broadcast machine supposed to save their butts?
Mm.
Okay, well, I guess that answers the question. But how do they control the like? Why is it controlling them in any way, shape, or form? Like, it turns them
Yeah.
on, sure. We just saw it try to grope one of the other female troopers. I think Lady J. Like,
Conveniently, it's only affecting the correct machines and only in their favor.
yeah. Like, do the snakes just keep coming out of his butt? Is that how he like gets them back up on his shoulder afterwards?
I don't know, because I would just like slinked off to go freeze to death.
Now that is some acting right there. Someone's all toasty.
Hmm. For as much as they claim to not like him and to think he's cowardly and incompetent, they sure do follow him really easily.
True. Like they all have pretty distinguished personalities overall in GI Joe, but when they did like live action movies, they didn't really keep any of it.
And they never do. Why nobody likes live action movies? Well, live action adaptations.
Well, there was that no, or wait, uh, crap. Good point. No, we're in the Arctic. We're still got our arms bare, but we are wearing furry vests.
As long as you're wearing a thin pair of gloves and a vest, you are fine in the Arctic. Didn't you know that?
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't realize. And this is where we go from being somewhat realistic-ish to more of the horror fantasy.
Mm.
Aside from the one episode where we had a
Oh, is the thing going to start taking over people?
no, not quite.
Oh.
By the way, that's one of the figures that's coming out for the right there.
Huh.
They all sound like Xena Warrior Princess.
I was expecting many things, but a bunch of like bug people going la 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 was not one of them.
Although in theory, I do really like that vehicle. The fact that you have to lay down in it to pilot it is always kind of stupid. There we go. He sounds like a dog with a cat fur ball. But yeah, he is one of the upcoming San Diego Comic Con exclusives. Or is he the PulseCon one? And we just got a commercial. Okay, that I had
Brian
not
had a
really
good point
thought
too.
about. Yeah.
He just got bitch slapped hard.
What the hell? So if you're watching this on DVD, pause until we the skip, I guess. Skip, and we're back. He didn't just strike you, man. He totally bitch slapped you. I'd like to point out, Cobra Commander was more afraid of her than the big guy that just bitch slapped him.
I don't have the money for the back child support.
Hey, he's been the one raising the baby.
Okay, so then it's not my kid. I shouldn't have to pay child support.
Money.
Tits.
Dude's like hypnotized.
Mm.
She could have been fully naked and he'd be like, the gem is mine.
You should probably check the authenticity on that gem before you agree to anything. It looked a little hollow.
That sounds bad. Destro, come here. Let me whack you.
Well, you know, somebody whacks you, it's important to whack them back. Establish dominance.
My favorite character, Tunnel Rat. The short one.
Also, the only one wearing anything vaguely resembling actual military uniform.
No, actually, Tunnel Rat is too.
Huh. A little. But you don't generally have your kit all strapped to you like that when you're just doing training.
The guy at the end in the Hawaiian shirt is Chuckles.
Yeah.
Somebody put down the theory that Chuckles is actually Snake Eyes.
Hmm.
Apparently using the stories from the comics as the reasoning behind it.
Ah. How canon are the comics to this? To the show?
It's more like the show's not really canon to the comics. I mean, technically, the characters are all created by the guy who wrote the comics,
Hmm.
whose name just totally I blanked on. Hama is the last name. Wow, I can't remember his first name now. Now this is GI Joe training, right? Bit extreme, don't you think?
Bit extreme. He's lucky one of those did not touch the water. Otherwise, he would have been toast.
He did not get a figure until I think the GI Joe Collectors Club made one for him. That's not how that works. That would be broken knuckles right there.
Yeah. You should be celebrating their achievements, not mad that they bested the course, dude. That's the whole point.
Beachhead is a dick.
That's literally how it's done in real life. Bomb sniffing dogs are a thing.
Okay, so you remember the one episode I showed you with the Once Upon a Joe with the MacGuffin device?
Yeah.
Remember, Beachhead is the one who like made Shipwreck leave the kids that he was actually entertaining at the orphanage that GI Joe burnt down. Technically Cobra, but still. No, that is one dumb dog. No, and why are you using a live explosive for this?
Yeah, this is training. You're not supposed to use live explosives. How dare all of you be competent at the thing that we want you to be competent at?
Oh, for God's sake.
It always picks the best time to go to commercial break.
No kidding. What the hell? And why was there a centaur? All right, and we're back.
I mean, that's, I think, the one that he has the right to complain about.
Yeah, because there was about, what, a half dozen tanks roaming around there, and
Yeah.
you just took out one.
Like, even if you can physically launch a missile with your bare hands, not a good idea.
Just wait.
I mean, I get the fact she works better with her eyes closed, right?
Yeah.
That was obvious. It was more the really weird fluidity of the animation.
She is part of the same clan that Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes are from. I just realized I didn't notice where she pulled that bandana from either.
Out her butt, like everybody else has been doing.
I mean, obviously, you know she's a bad guy.
Yeah.
But
This is grounds for dishonorable discharge.
well, if we put this into modern days, expect her to take her mask off and it's James O'Keefe underneath there. That's how old this was. They had the old disc film cameras.
So he brought an unauthorized person into a secure military area, destroyed military property, showing off. Yeah. Super lucky that you aren't going up against the disciplinary committee right now.
Science jokes. Dangerously close.
He passed the line of insubordination when he brought her into the building. Okay, that is a man I would not trust on guard duty.
By the way, they're related too. I don't know if that came out already or not. You know, the bathing suit only goes with the blonde hair, doesn't go with her orange and yellow hair.
No. So she just using the bathing suit as underwear?
Apparently. That's their only bit of fan service for this series. It's not like her shirt really covers up much more from the bathing suit.
Why did they even give that to her? It's so pointless.
Yeah, you think? She's not even wearing tight clothes. How do you even tell?
Mm.
By the way, it kind of hints that they had a bit of a relationship before he brought Heather there too. The way she's acting.
Well, yeah.
And why is the new recruit the one working on the mechanics on the equipment?
Mm. Did they even get this far in his little tour he was given, though?
No,
So
not
how would
really.
they even know about all that other stuff?
Because they needed to. And Bazooka finally talks. It's probably not the best way to use a bazooka, by the way.
Mm. Tells her bad luck he's the one who let the woman into the facility. Made your own bad luck, dude.
Jumping out of second story windows. Trilobites.
I just hate it when my trilobite explodes. Don't you? That was the most realistic thing this whole movie.
It's a flying gordita.
Like an undercooked pierogi.
Maybe overcooked with that coloring.
Uh,
A whole new world. I don't have that much of an issue with insects, but no. Just no.
I don't think there was enough room in that couch to fit all of those.
By the way, on the file card, and I'm assuming in the comic, Mindbender there,
Mm-hmm.
his scientific training is as an orthodontist. The thing on its side looks like fingers to me. You know, right?
Yeah. The bad guys don't really seem to question very much, do they?
No. Honestly, he probably deserves to be shot. He is literally the guy who can't keep his dick in his pants.
Nepotism?
I'm not sure why being his half brother makes a difference though for what they're thinking.
Nepotism.
There's something worse than court martial coming up.
Ugh.
Jesus Christ. Another commercial skip in 21 seconds.
If you're lucky. Lately, they've been doing this thing where they'll tell you can skip, but then they don't let you skip.
That doesn't surprise me. That's 3 commercials. There we go. You know, it's gonna be sad if somebody's watching this and the commercials hit at different points. That is so gross.
The bug body or the clamshell prison?
Clamshell prison. I mean, Globulos has quite the booty there with that thing.
I was not expecting a sympathetic backstory for the villains.
I mean, how sad is it that if Cobra Law was so advanced with the organic stuff that cavemen beat them?
We treated to the most inhospitable area we could find.
Here you go. Now you see the actual face of Cobra Commander.
Mm.
I like watch those two troopers try and run there.
So basically went, you're disfigured, so you're expendable. Go lead our troops.
Basically. Well, they both failed.
The perfect example for why you should hire based on merit.
Well, that's the weird thing, though. It's like Cobra Commander is apparently both a scientist and a noble in their world, so he should have been a lot smarter. So this is the same spore that disfigured him,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're wondering why he's incompetent.
I mean, you just had to wait like 20 more years for the advent of the internet. Would have
True.
solved the problem.
It's kind of creepy the way his eyes.
We'll disfigure you some more. That had not the bee's energy.
The question is, how exactly did they get into his system? You gotta like that trifle melodramatic.
A moment of genre savviness. scream.
Yeah, Don Johnson did not do a particularly good job on the Foley.
Sounded more like somebody came up and twisted his nipple rather than terrified for his life.
Exactly how sharp is that sword?
Dude, they all have American flags on their clothes. You should know that they're not bad guys.
I don't understand the reference to chicken sweat. Smack, smack, smack.
That was some lip resistant smacking. The scorpion did not deserve that disrespect.
He's like carrying a baton like rhythm
He's sucking his
gymnastics.
thumb.
Well, technically, I think he just cut his finger on his thumb on the blade when he was messing with it.
We have the fourth member. Now we can do the full choreography for the YMCA song. I mean, he was inhuman to begin with, apparently.
Well, they didn't know that. Oh, Jesus.
At least it didn't happen right after, like, a moment of mild violence, like the last couple times.
I guess. Ah, man, I did not expect the commercials. I don't know why, but
It would have been funny if it came right after the lip wristed bitch slapping.
I like how they use the scarab teeth or mandibles as a key.
Apparently not, because all anybody had to do was break off a chunk of your wall and hit you with it.
So those of you with a bondage fetish,
Mm-hmm.
the last tentacle monster I went after, Lady J, failed. This one did not.
Scenes that would not be allowed by today's standards.
It is,
So is rhyming his thing?
yeah.
Okay.
And having tried to write that before and stuff, that's not easy to do.
No, it's not.
The strongest of the Joes versus the strongest of Cobra La. You know, I have to wonder if these are actually the original path he was planning on taking them or not.
He seems very bad at giving directions.
Reminds me of my friend who was like, "The turn was right over there." She points behind us as we drove. The issue with this is that I can't imagine most of these people would actually be like, "Oh, turning everybody into cavemen kind of sounds like a bad idea overall. What kind of world are we supposed to rule over if that happens?"
Yes, because cavemen are notoriously great at taking instruction and not just like beating everything. That
This is the other figure that they're making right here for the convention.
him?
Nope.
Oh, oh,
Him.
ew.
Literally calling it once a man Cobra Commander.
Before they took the mask off, I was like, oh, that doesn't look too bad. Never mind.
Notice his legs are looking a bit weird too.
Yeah. That would explain why the other guy has to keep carrying him.
It's
Bridal
almost
style.
peaceful here. You know, that's a sadly small burp for someone like Sergeant Slaughter.
Mm.
I belch better than that.
My cat belches better than that.
Let's emasculate him right now. You're
I
not
think
making friends.
the new guy who kept getting his ass kicked should probably not be suggesting that.
We couldn't let Zorana be the only one sneaking into places. That is really terrible security because you think something would have gone off when you got to the fence.
Fence.
Conveniently, we have a ladder heading right up to the vent.
So is he like a reformed bad guy or something?
Yeah, they said earlier he was a Cobra Viper.
Okay.
Former Cobra Viper.
Okay, so that was why the one guy was all freaking out.
Yeah, that's the reason why he has the X out in the Cobra logo.
I only saw the American flags all over everything.
All those Stratos Vipers, like their helmets were like all, resting on their chins, like really cover the whole face. I'd like to know the physics on that one too.
It's a good thing that guy has no peripheral vision. Probably the poor design of those helmets.
I mean, you guys
We've
managed.
successfully secretly infiltrated, so now we're going to scream our name out loud as we run through the halls.
It's almost like yelling, "You can't see us! You can't see us!" Coincidentally, he goes to the one communication portal that's not currently running.
That was coincidentally disabled beforehand for no reason.
Oh, for the love of! And another commercial break.
Another one that happened right at a point when somebody got punched in the face.
It is weird timing. Now it's M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah,
That's going to end up being a disappointment at the end, I'm sure.
probably.
And back to the show. That sounds nice in theory, but that is actually quite possibly one of the worst.
Yeah.
He just
You're just smacking him! Pitifully, I might add.
there's
Like,
a lot of blood.
I'm pretty certain I could have smacked him harder than that.
Yeah, hopefully Nemesis Enforcer doesn't slap like a bitch.
Maybe know some real torture methods?
I like how he throws his gun away just before attacking.
Face
Cobra.
hugger.
You think it's putting its eggs in his throat? Again, Serpenter's the one who's calling Cobra Commander a coward. Oh no, somebody's actually shot at me. One bomb in the armor, or 1 or 2 bombs in the armory, and
Of course. It always sets off a chain reaction. Even when there's massive breaks in the chain.
Apparently they had a nuclear warhead there.
Apparently.
Luckily, there was a technodrome. Oh yeah, technodrome under the terradrome.
Which they all conveniently managed to escape to in time.
Well, the faceless ones, they don't matter.
Yeah.
Actually, it is surprising. Okay, so they do have the robotic troopers, the bats.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen any of them in here.
No?
What is
living
up with the
fodder's dying.
Yeah. Seriously, everything's like a freaking semicircle orb, whatever, half ball sphere.
They're balls. They're big metal balls. Oh, so they're going to prove how manly they are. So were they actually deployed, or are they going against?
I think it's safe to say they're going against orders right now.
Okay.
The dog.
Quit being bad luck.
So I'm not an expert in dog fighting, but I have to say I think this probably wouldn't work out very well with the jets in that small area.
Probably not. Ugh.
They sound like they're farting when they shoot.
You do. When they fire, they sound like they're spitting. No, they sound like children ineffectually trying to spit. That is not a safe place to be.
What? Right underneath the blades? How can that not be safe? At least something's not gonna fall on you.
That is not proper procedure.
So I guess in the comics, I haven't read them yet, really. Chuckles is actually a spy / secret agent type. Here he's just like random strongman.
Oh. Here he's apparently Rambo.
Well, their involvement was pointless.
Yes, it was. Good going, only woman of the group.
I think Law's does have some of the best lines in this movie. That's the shirt that they need is Law just with the phrase, we got set down by a salad.
Okay, don't do that. That's not intimidating.
So now you know where they got the idea for Xena's cry. And all those Amazonian movies that you see where they do that sort of thing.
Wasn't intimidating then either.
Bet you weren't expecting to see graboids in this either.
Now we just need a predator. Which, considering all the weird creatures with tentacles and weird face things, Where's the predator? We have graboids. We have facehuggers.
Open it. Not the most effective. The one issue with what they do with the dreadnoks and they're a band of mercenaries that generally work with Cobra, but like, why are they always? And how did you figure that out, Duke?
He read the script.
Oh, okay, that's reasonable. Just for a little bit of information, that canopy actually does not open up on that vehicle. The whole thing goes down.
Really? It's just so not intimidating at all. La la la, we can't hear you. La la la.
Dude, it looked to me like you got him in the throat with that rifle too, you know. That's
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you command that part.
Yeah. You should probably stop saying that because it doesn't seem to mean anything. The blood switched sides.
Animation ears. It's my
No,
own
it's
fault.
your
I
fault.
shouldn't
You
have saved you.
didn't do it.
So you heard that little blip there, right?
That was the added in line.
One of two edited little parts. Because into the
This is
calm.
very clearly a death scene. Also, I'm pretty certain you need to have an actual doctor run tests for the whole coma thing.
Yeah, I mean everything you see there shows that that Duke died.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to go through the Optimus Prime thing from Transformers again.
They didn't want to make children cry in the theater.
Although I don't think this movie actually made it. Oh, for goodness sake, another commercial.
At least nobody was getting slapped in the face.
But yeah, I don't think this movie actually made it to theaters. I think it just ended up playing on TV.
Yeah. So it was all for nothing.
Yep. And we're back.
They could have killed him after all.
Well, no. Kids still watched it. The only difference is they were at home.
Yeah, they cry at home. They're not going to be disturbing everybody else watching the movie.
A time worm. Like you guys don't have a better way to tell time than a worm. What if it's not feeling good that day?
Yeah. What if the time worm dies and you don't know it?
I thought they were in Siberia. Are the Himalayas in Siberia?
I don't know. Do not put him on guard duty. Oh, goodness.
They're also making that version as part of the convention exclusive.
Okay, Mr. Was a Man, why don't you bring your coils up a little higher to keep his bare arms warm? I mean, you were strangling him, so. You all seem excited to see me and are talking about rescuing me. Let me threaten you.
I like to point out that his first thought was to beat up the black dude who found him.
I'm not supposed to talk about black on black violence.
Clams, man, the kind that plants, the kind that gobble you up. This time worm is going along my mother's dildo.
I mean, it doesn't really eat you. It just tentacle molests you.
I mean, theoretically, if it could be a carnivorous plant and ultimately eat them that way, but where did they get the camera in there?
When did they fetch him? He slithered off.
That was weirdly coincidental.
Let me just shine this light in your eye, that'll fix your blindness.
Cobra Commander is writhing around like he's humping the snow.
Convenient. And how did you find that?
Well, he heard the sound of the water.
Yeah, but you have to visually see that to be all like, oh, there's a back door over here. He said that before he had eyes on it.
Now, the better question is, how did they get behind the Dreadnoughts going through the water?
uh,
But at least they're smart enough that they're actually sealing the different entrances
yeah.
because of the spores. I kind of like a guy who narrates everything he does. He's not as good as Darkwing Duck, but
No. Well, few are as good at narrating their actions as Darkwing Duck is.
and we're shooting tentacle monsters again. So if anybody in Cobra Law has a self bondage fetish, it's really easy for them to go with it.
Yeah. It's not what it looks like, Jan!
They like their crotch shots.
They do.
I like how Cobra Commander is still following them though.
I really want to know how this ecosystem actually works.
You know, usually it's the Cobra rifles that stop working. like, like seriously, they have all these kind of creatures, and somehow they couldn't take over the world themselves.
Yeah, against cavemen.
Again, my favorite character.
He's just living his best life.
Seriously, like when I first saw the packaging for him,
Yeah.
I thought there was a giant worm behind him on the box. I didn't realize it was just a tunnel. So that thing kind of tickled me.
Just have Jinx touch it. That should work.
Theoretically, yeah. Oh, good lord. Another commercial.
They're really pushing them Night Shyamalan movies.
Yeah. Oh, they make Lululemon for guys now? Are they going to be thief through like the women's leggings are? All right, I like this commercial.
I do too.
That was kind of cute. And we're back.
That was downright adorable.
I think it goes to say something about it as a slasher movie commercial. How many guns has he
Slash
gone
man
through so
romance.
far?
More than he's had room to carry.
How does he know that it was his brother?
The script told him.
Okay. You think that backpack would have torn off by now? Nemesis Enforcer isn't very talkative.
No, he is not.
Time for the white t-shirt contest.
Hmm. No, better yet. The dissolving clothes venom.
That thing. Ugh. Although it is kind of too bad they're not giving us that clam as part of the set. So every other snake he's used has been a spear. This one time he decides
To throw a constrictor.
Yeah.
Like, you could at least send a venomous one if you weren't going to do the spear thing. You could just close your eyes. It would save you time. You're lucky this is 80s cartoon and the villain just sits there and watches.
Oh no, at least she's looking at her like, what is wrong with you? This is what happens when you attack your second in command.
Mm-hmm.
Although, to be honest, I would think there'd be a little, almost too much going around for her to be able to properly.
Yeah.
She can't. There's no way she should be able to hear that well. That was just kind of a sad ending for Pythona.
That was really pitiful. Gotta do the wrestling moves. I'm disappointed that there wasn't like a tentacle monster roping in the background for him to jump off of.
Yeah, I know. He should have done some air work. Threw the guy with wings down into the pit.
Yeah.
And this is why you don't wear capes.
Yep.
You're a fan.
No capes. It's just why you don't wear capes, period. It looked like it just pooped it out.
And now we see the true Goblos.
Mm.
He's a Naga.
He didn't betray you. He wasn't on your side.
What is his tail made out of that he can pound it through rock?
Or stab you in the eye with the time worm, huh? Oh, you knocked the time worm off. Now nobody's going to know what time it is. Good going.
The expression on her face. How does their camera system work?
Because that's how that works.
Honestly, that's actually a fairly reasonable thought.
I suppose it is basically a do anything device.
Just wait, more ridiculousness about to occur.
Yeah.
So what do you think is more realistic, that or using the device to burn the spores in space? Surprised there wasn't some comment about, oh, most of the time when women ask me to grab their ankles is for a whole other purpose.
See, if she really was a jinx, she would have kicked him in the face.
Or she would have fell off while he
Yeah.
grabbed on and knocked him off.
They're just lucky she wasn't like a foot shorter.
There you go. I don't understand why they're even a couple.
I'm entirely confused by the whole progress of that relationship. I was kind of under the impression they were exes. Why are you thinking your big brother? You're the one that did that.
See, that line, again, something like that would have made more sense with Duke having died.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I kind of appreciate about this series too is that even though Tomax and Zaemon are twins, they're not voiced by the same person.
Yeah.
But they do voice close enough to each other. So if you're really good, you can tell them apart. But if you're not really good, you can't. Chris Latta. So, what did you think overall?
It was a fun little movie. I'm not mad that I watched it.
No, I mean, they actually did a good job on these kind of movies back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few things here and there where you're just sort of like, no. But
If you watch this,
honestly, I've seen much worse from recent stuff.
yeah. You know, when I was kind of coming up with my ideas for like doing like the Hasbro shared universe movies,
Mm-hmm.
and I laid out the whole Cobra and Transformer stuff.
Yeah.
I did say that whoever was the actor for Cobra Commander needed to do the voice of Starscream in the Transformer stuff. And I think that's really what they should be doing if they do that, really.
Yeah.
Just as kind of a throwback. But yeah, like you said, you had the scene where Serpentor's like, Nemesis Enforcer, save me! Ah! Like, you're sitting there making Cobra Commander out to be this coward the entire time. And the first moment
he gets a boo boo, he goes crying to his nanny.
I should actually go ahead and play for you then the quote movie that they created for the first few episodes of the sequel series.
Yeah.
Because it is a direct sequel too, because like they show Serpentor and he's got Cobra Commander in a fish tank.
In a fish tank.
Well,
Still snake form?
yeah. Okay, technically not a fish tank, a
The
terrarium,
terrarium.
but as a pet.
Yeah.
Like, Serpentor looks cool, but I think I will always prefer Cobra Commander. Except for from the live action movies, that Cobra Commander sucked. Like, and I never. We didn't need to ever find out who Cobra Commander was in those live action movies. That was just bad.
Yeah. I don't even remember those anymore. I know I watched them, but
Yeah, I think we saw them together actually.
probably.
It was Star Wars Underwater with the actual ending with where they had all like sub battles. That was like a dog fight, which
I
is
th-
kind of funny.
yeah, I think I vaguely remember that. I remember like what was it? Is it Destro, the guy with the metal
Yeah,
face? Yeah. I vaguely remember him being in one of the movies.
yeah. Christopher Eccleston played him, and then at one point in the movie, Cobra Commander injects him or whatever with like
Yeah.
nanites that do that mask. But then Cobra Commander wore this weird clear plastic skull mask looking thing when he
Because the
became.
actor needed to have his face visible throughout the movie.
Well, they just did that at the end. But
Yeah.
that is
Mm.
it for the commentary section of this.
Well, he wanted to have his face available for the second movie.
Actually, the best version of the figure that they did actually did same mask, but they actually made it chrome.
Yeah.
So I have that figure somewhere, I think. But yeah, um, so I hope you guys all enjoyed listening to this commentary. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and as I like to say, if you hated this, send it to somebody you don't like so that they can be tortured. Peace and love.